So now we are going to see what is computer network. So a collection of computing devices connected in order to communicate and share resources is called computer network. What is computer network? It is a collection of computing devices connected together in order to communicate and to share resources. The connection between the computing devices can be a physical wire or cable or wireless using radio waves or infrared signals. Okay, the connection, that is nothing but the transmission medium between the computing devices may be a cable or wire or wireless. Okay, now this is one network. Here some nodes or computing devices are connected together. They form one network. And this here you are having another network. These two networks are connected to each other. Okay. Now we are going to see the uses of computer network. What are the uses? First uses is information and resource sharing. What is the first use? Information and resource sharing. Sharing of information and resources. Now, computer networks allow organization to have units which are placed apart from each other. Okay, the units of the organization can be placed apart from each other, and they can share information among themselves in an effective manner. The programs and software in any computer can be accessed by other computer linked to the network. So if you are having a network, the programs and software in one computer can be used by the other computer. This computer network allows the sharing of hardware equipment like printers and scanners among varied users. So you are having one printer, and if you are having a network, the systems in the network can use the same printer. Okay, here you are sharing the hardware. Okay, printer is a hardware device and we are sharing the hardware. Next use is retrieving remote information. The information placed or present in some distance place computer can be retrieved by using computer network. Through computer networks, user can retrieve remote information on a variety of topics. Okay, on different topics you can retrieve the remote information. The information stored in a remote databases to which the user gains access through information systems like World Wide Web. Through your internet, you can access the remote database. Speedy interpersonal communication. You can communicate with your parents or neighbors or your friends who is now residing at a different place, faraway place. If he is living in a faraway place, you can communicate very fastly by using the by using this computer network. Okay, so the computer network have increased the speed and volume of communication like never before. Okay, now you are having WhatsApp, you are having Facebook, you are having Messenger, you are sending messages to some other people. How you are able to send? Because you are connected to a network. So email. So you are sending email. By using email, you can send text, documents, images, videos. Okay, these are the things we are sending by email. So online communication has increased. Okay, what are the online mode of communication now? You are video calling your friends, your parents. Okay, these are all improved due to this network. Next important thing is e-commerce. Use of your computer network is e-commerce. The computer networks have paved way for a variety of business and commercial transaction online, popularly called e-commerce. So you are buying your things by using Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra. Okay, what is this? This is by you. This is occurring due to this networking. Okay, this is the one of the use of network. Similarly, you are using Phone Pay, Google Pay. Okay, you are paying online transactions. You are doing online transactions. Okay, so these are the benefits of your computer network. The users and organization can pool funds, buy or sell items, pay bills, manage bank accounts, pay tax, transfer funds, and handle investments electronically. You are paying your telephone bill online. You are paying your electricity bill online. Everything you are doing. Okay, now this is nothing called e-commerce. Highly reliable system. So now another important use of your computer network is highly reliable. Due to this computer network, you are making the system more reliable, since the data are distributed in nature. Since you are having backup, if one system gets failed, that same information stored in that system can be retrieved from other systems. Okay, so it is making the system more reliable. So if one failure is occurring in one source, then the system will still function and data will be still available for other sources. Okay, next use of your computer network is cost effective system. Computer network have reduced the cost of establishment of computer systems in organization. So previously, if you want to do one tedious work, then you need mainframe. So mainframe computers are so expensive. Okay, another thing, initially the database what you are having is a centralized database. All the information will be present in one computer. Now not the case. After networking, you are having a distributed database. Data are stored in many places. Okay, so since we are having many computers, the cost is reduced. Why? Because the mainframe computers are more expensive than our ordinary PCs. Now you are using PCs for all these works. Initially you have used mainframe computers. Okay, now voice over internet. So voice over internet protocol has revolutionized telecommunication system. Through this, telephone calls are made digitally using these protocols. Okay, now what you are doing? By using internet, we are doing the call. Instead of using telephone network, we are using the internet to do the calls. So these are some of the uses of the computer network. Now we are going to see the advantages of connecting to the network and disadvantage of connecting to the network. What are the advantages we are having while we are connecting to a network? So when we are connected to a network, it allows people to share resources and expensive devices. Okay, next one, it connects individuals to friends, families, colleagues who are located in different region or in different country. Next, increases opportunities for self-improvement by providing access to knowledge and information. These are some of the advantages of connecting to a network. Now the disadvantage of connecting to a network is the network can expose you to online crimes such as identity and credit card theft, scams such as email phishing. Okay, then another disadvantage is you can expose you to cyberbullying and abusing. In social media, some people will abuse you when you're posting some posts. Some people will put some bad comments and all. No, it is nothing but abusing. Another thing is you will be in addictive. You are always using Facebook, you are always using WhatsApp. So it is nothing but we are getting addicted and we are wasting a lots of time, large amount of time. So these are some of the disadvantages of connecting to a network. Now we are going to see network software. What does it mean by network software? Network software is a set of tools that helps computers to share information with each others or allows user to share computer programs. What is network software? Network software is a set of tools that helps computer to share information. So they are the set of tools which helps the computer to share information with each other. So network software encompasses a broad range of software used for design, implementation and operation and monitoring of computer networks. What is software? In network software, the network software will be having a broad range of softwares which is used for design, implementation, operation and monitoring of computer networks. An example of a network software is a client server program, which has a part of the program on server and part of the program on client in the computer. What are the functions of network software? It helps to set up and install computer networks. What is the first function? It helps to set up and install computer networks. Then it enables user to have access to network resources in a seamless manner. Next, allow administrations to add and remove users from the network. By using network software, you can either add a user or you can remove a user. If some user is going for some unwanted activities, you can automatically remove from the network. And if you want to add a new person to the network, then you can add by using this network software. So this network software helps to define location of data storage and allows users to access that data. Helps administrators and security system to protect the network from data breaches, unauthorized access and attack on a network. So this network software enables network virtualization. Okay, it is a very important function. So virtualization of a network. Next, we are going for the network architecture. First of all, what does mean by network architecture? A network architecture is nothing but it is a set of layers and protocols. It's called a network architecture. What is network architecture? A set of layers and protocols. They are called network architecture. First, we are going to see the protocol hierarchies. Network are organized as layers. How we are forming the network? This network is organized as layers to reduce the design complexity. In order to reduce the design complexity, we are organizing the network as layers. Then each layer in our OSI ISO model, we are having 7 layers. And each layers offer services to the higher layers. Okay, each layer it will offer services to the higher levels. Between the layers, we are having one thing called interface. Okay, between the layers, what we are having? We are having interface. There are two types of services. One is connection oriented services and another one is connectionless service. The difference between connection oriented service and connectionless service is in connection oriented service, before the transfer of data, we need to make one path. Okay, we need a dedicated path. After only we can send the data. In connectionless service, no such thing. We can send the data. There is no prior path will be there. We have to send the data. So next one, interface. Interface define which primitives and service the lower layer will offer to the upper layer. What is interface? Interface, what is the function of interface? The interface will define which primitives and services the lower layer will offer to the upper layer. Okay. So primitives are nothing but operations such as request, response, confirm. These are the some primitives. Next, we are going to see the design issues for the layers. The first design issue is the mechanism for connection establishment. How to make the connection establishment? How the connection has to be established? That is the first design issue. The second design issue is rule for data transfer. How the data has to be transferred and what are the rules that has to be followed while transferring the data. And the third design issue is error control. So while transferring the data, there is a possibility of lost frame, or there is a possibility of damaged frame, or there is a possibility of a partial damage. So this is called error. So we have to control the error. The next design issue is fast sender swamping a slow receiver. What is fast sender? If you are having a fast sender and if the receiver is receiving very slow, then it will be a problem. That is nothing called flow control. Okay, flow control is another design issues. And the next design issue is nothing but inability of process to accept long messages. Okay, so if you are having a long message, then sometime your network will be unable to process the long message. That is also a design issue. The next design issue is nothing but routing in case of multiple paths. In the case of multiple path, your network will be confused in which path we have to send the data. So these are some of the design issues for the layers. These are some design issues for the layers. Next, services. So each layer provides services to the layer above it. So if you take physical layer, the physical layer will do services for the data link layer. Okay, data link layer will do services for the network layer. Okay, so we are going to see some important terminologies. What is entity? So entity is nothing but active elements in each layer. It is called entity. Either it may be a process or intelligent input output chip. Peer entities. Entities in the same layer. Entities in the same layer on different machines. They are called peer entities. What is mean the peer entities? Entities in the same layer on different machines. Service provider is nothing but the layer n, and service user is nothing but the layer n plus 1. Next one, service access point. Places where layer n plus 1 can access services offered by layer n. Now already I have told there are two types of services. One is connection oriented service, another one is connectionless service. Connection oriented service means before data is sent, the service from the sending computer must establish a connection with the receiving computer. So connectionless means data can be sent at any time by the service from the sending computer. Now we are going for service primitives. The service primitives are request. An entity wants to serve wants the service to do in some work. So indicate, entity is to be informed about an event. Response, entity responds to an event. Confirm, entity is to be informed about its request. So first we are sending computer, it is giving a request. Okay, so this entity transport layer wants the service to do some work. Now indicate, the entity is to be informed about the event. The transport layer, it is the transport layer in the sending computer is giving a request, and the transport layer in the receiving computer is indicated. Then the transport layer in the receiving computer is responding. The transport layer in the sending computer is confirm about the request. Okay, these are the service primitives, that is request, indicate, response, confirm. These are the service primitives. What are the service primitives? Request, then indicate, then response, then confirm. Okay, these are the service primitives.